What's up, guys, or welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to get into the death of Aaliyah. Everyone has their speculations on what happened to her, if the industry murdered her or what. But the thing is, Aaliyah's soul is very restless. It's been 20 plus years since her death, and she's just tired. She wants everyone to let it go because basically it was her time. When Aaliyah died, it was pretty much karma, because I'm going to say her handlers. These are just based off of downloads that I already have. And keep in mind that all the information that I say or whatever, I'm channeled with spirit. They say what they say, and pretty much everything is alleged. So basically, Aaliyah did not want to get on this plane. Aaliyah was a very intuitive person. And in the industry, I'm going to tell you just fucking straight like this. It is a business. You sign your life over to the devil. That's what they claim, but it's not like a spiritual devil. Like, basically, you serve your purpose or whatever. Like, everybody in Hollywood is gifted. They are divine beings. They are living a human experience, but they are not human. When your contract, a life contract, when your contract is up, regardless if it's through the universe, aka God, whatever you want to call it, higher source, or if you sign a contract, eventually you have to pay up. In this case, Aaliyah went overseas and she was filming the Rock the Boat video. She also had a movie coming out. I think it got released after her death. I don't think she got to finish it. But basically they went over, they filmed the Rock the Boat video. They claimed that Aaliyah was, in a hurry to fucking get back. And from the downloads that I got, I don't fucking think Aaliyah was in a hurry to get back. She did not want to get on that plane. She was very intuitive. She could see her future. She basically complained to her handlers. And I say handlers because obviously they're human beings that, artists and shit have to work with, that work for the industry. They are not the high people up, and they're not, below. They're just humans that are fucking hired. And these people were very selfish over Aaliyah. They didn't give a fuck about her well-being. They were in a hurry to get back, I think, to push the music out, but instead they tried to force Aaliyah on this little ass fucking plane with all this shit. The plane was overloaded. The pilot said no, but basically he was getting paid, so he was just doing what he was told, and they try to blame the pilot for all this shit. That's not the fucking story, regardless if he was on anything or whatever. The fucking handlers wanted to get back, and they disregarded Aaliyah's feelings. She said she had a headache, and people speculate and claim that they gave her sleeping pills. I'm gonna tell you like this. I suffer from PTSD, okay? When someone has anxiety and they have to go against their intuition and they don't, Aaliyah knew that her death was coming if she left her life in these motherfuckers' hands. So instead, they took it upon themselves. When Aaliyah was like, I have a headache, they gave her 2 Xanax bars. So if you don't know, if you have anxiety and someone gives you a sleeping pill, it's not going to work because your mind is too overactive. I know it for a fact. So they gave that shit to her. It basically put her like asleep, and everyone got taken out for their fucking karma. So let's get into this and see what Aaliyah says. You have
First
the
card
moon,
out was
which
the snake.
represents to me
The snake is
illusion
backstabbing
and a lot of
shady
fear.
shit.
Like, she was fearful of this. On top of everything, she did not like to fly, and then she wanted another plane chartered. She had the money to charter a plane, but they were just not trying to hear that shit. They wanted what they wanted and didn't give a fuck about what she wanted. I see compassion, I see creativity, I see Dame Dash. She was in a relationship with Dame Dash and she loved him dearly, but she was not gonna risk her fucking life to get on that flight because she knew she would never see him again. I don't know if she got to talk to him, but she wanted to if she didn't. And he didn't want her to fly if, it cost her her life. Spiritual wisdom, like I said, she was intuitive. She followed her intuition, and these people would not let her. I kept hearing God's plan. I can't do this on my own. Someone's watching this shit close. There was no one there to protect her. And I'm going to tell you another thing. God doesn't like ugly, and he was tired of watching this shit. They had been fucking Aaliyah over for years prior to this incident. I'm hearing the rights to my music. She was stabbed multiple times in the back through her career, even though she was around 22 years old when she died. She was heartbroken. And also, this needs to be clarified, Jay-Z and Beyonce were not involved in Aaliyah's death at all, so all that shit talking and witchcraft and Beyonce had it out for Aaliyah, that is not fucking true. And if Aaliyah still made it, they would have both been big. Beyonce still would have been as big as she was. Jay was really close to Aaliyah, like a little sister, so yeah, Beyonce had a little bit of fucking jealousy about that, but that's only just because she's possessive over Jay, which I totally get. Information withheld, lack of personal harmony, secrets, and then you got what? Soulmates? I think maybe Aaliyah and Dame Dash were engaged at this time. If they weren't engaged, they were going to be. Aaliyah wanted to be a mom. She was very loving and she would have been a great mom. She had that quality about her. Sadly, she never became one, even though she was the princess of hip-hop. I'm also hearing R. Kelly, which I'm not bringing R. Kelly into this fucking reading because we all know what kind of piece of shit he is. I said what I said and I meant that shit. Aaliyah was ambitious, action-oriented, she was driven, and you know, some people were intimidated by that. She's saying a lot of people won't fight for their dreams, but I always knew I was a star. Seeing her as a little girl when she performed on that show, I don't remember what show it was, but I think that they turned her down at the time. I'm hearing star search. She always knew she was gonna make it. When you're a star, you have an inner knowing. Starseed. She doesn't want to live in the past anymore. She wants you guys to know that she forgives herself for what happened to her, and you guys just need to forgive that and let it go. It was my time, I was at peace with that, and you need to be at peace with it too. So here's the boarding. Confusion. This is not what she expected when she got to the fucking airport. Information withheld. Once again, secrets being kept. She wasn't going for this shit. It wasn't about being right, it wasn't about being spoiled. She knew that this was going to take her life from her. Dame Dash was on her mind heavy as fuck. I'm seeing that. She's worried that she's never going to see him again. It was her way or no way, and it wasn't going to go her way because everything was up to them. Then you have abundance. Clearly, I said there was money involved. They were worried about, you know, getting shit back on the plane and getting back to America as quick as they can because they have to push the music out. The pressure was on. I don't know who Morales is, but I'm guessing that's the pilot. He does not want to fly just as bad as Aaliyah does not want to. A lot of compassion and love out here followed by fucking heartbreak. I'm picking up on this pilot heavy as shit. Self-respect, self-confidence. He could fly. He's been doing this shit for years. They're trying to pin this shit on him when that's not how it worked. It's because her handlers wanted to fucking fly. Take accountability. And I'm gonna say this shit exactly how it is. The industry should have watched who the fuck they were hiring to take care of her, because they were the reason why Aaliyah died. And also on top of that, if they would have came back and survived this and Aaliyah would have died, the industry would have took them the fuck out. One of the members on the plane survived, but he didn't survive long enough to tell the story. Personal transition, resistant to change. Aaliyah did not pass over right away because she fucking was not ready to. Her soul was not at peace back then, and it still isn't because people will not let her be. The Empress, divine feminine. Like I said, Aaliyah was an angel. She had higher knowledge. She knew shit about her life. When you have the inner knowing, you're born divine. You just know. Femininity, beauty, nature. It comes with the territory of being a divine feminine. You're like no other. You're irreplaceable. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try it again. So no matter what the fuck ever came up against Aaliyah in life, she never gave up. She was not going to be silent. She wasn't going down. She did not want to get on the fucking plane, and she let it be known. But instead, these people took advantage of her and took her motherfucking life without her free will. I'm seeing intuition out here again. Aaliyah was a loving, compassionate person, but I think in this situation she had to get ugly. She was not having this shit, and these people were not trying to hear that shit. She's saying sometimes you have to stand alone, especially when you're all you got. I'm hearing equilibrium, nosedive. I'm telling you right now, I don't see Aaliyah asleep on that plane. She's sitting there and the anxiety is eating her alive, like she's terrified. It's a real gut-wrenching feeling, and she's saying I had to prepare, my life was over. Like, I can't even explain what I see right now. Charred bodies, they're not recognizable. There's no way you would need like some kind of DNA or something to identify people. And I'm seeing obsessed with wealth. These motherfuckers needed that plane back, and they needed her work. Even if they had to kill her, even if she was gonna fucking die, they didn't give a shit. I said the pressure was on. You have eternal love. Aaliyah never lost the love that she had for her music, even after her death. Release my music. Stronghold. Release my music. They didn't pay for my death. They owe that to me. You took my life and you took my music. Missed opportunities, despair, illness. She was sick. She did not want to get on this fucking flight. I don't know if Aaliyah was pregnant, but I'm kind of picking that up. If she was keeping it a secret, and it was too early to really know. She just keeps saying, release my music. I don't know who has the rights to her music, but she wants it released. And I'm also picking up on her family. And like I said, I don't know if she was pregnant, but she was thinking she wanted a baby with Damon Dash. Chaos, lack of direction. Like I said, this flight was going to happen regardless if Aaliyah wanted it to or not. Painful endings. Deep betrayal, deep wounds. She felt this. She was fucking awake when she died, which proves it was not sleeping pills. She was not asleep. Xanax will not knock you all the way the fuck out either, especially if your anxiety's high as a bitch. People honestly just need to shut the fuck up when they don't know what they're talking about. That's exactly why her soul is not at peace. Angel versus devil, and I'm hearing I've been waiting for a girl like you. She was ready to go to heaven, but she had issues transitioning over. She wanted to release the baggage. Let me go. Let me live. Let me be in peace. Honestly, this shit is so fucked up. People did this. Aaliyah died because of motherfuckers' selfishness. Over greed, over money, over power. As much as she wanted to fight back, as much as she tried to fight back, she couldn't. And they were gonna make sure that she couldn't when they gave her those motherfucking Xanax pills instead of Advil or Tylenol or anything for a headache just to take advantage of her. I don't know if it's Xanax for sure, but I'm seeing that. My fucking guides do not lie. And if it was in her system, you really think they're gonna tell the fucking public that? No, because they're pinning everything on the pilot. He was on coke, he was on smack, he was drinking, and whatever the fuck else they wanted to say about him. Bro, did you do a fucking criminal investigation? Did you do a background check before you picked your pilot? Sounds a little bit suspicious to me. Forgiveness. Motherfuckers need to forgive that man because Aaliyah's death wasn't his fault. It was part of the problem, but not the whole problem. Look at the truth. Look at who really did this shit to her. He did not drag Aaliyah onto the plane and was like, come on, let's go. He refused to do it. Misuse of power, inner truth, manipulation. The pilot was manipulated and so was Aaliyah. The industry needs to take accountability for these stupid fucks they hired to, work with her while she went overseas. You fucking idiots. And look, the mother that Aaliyah was never going to become. There's the fucking baby. Aaliyah was thinking about stepping away from the music industry. She wanted to be a mother. She wanted to grow a family with Dame Dash. She thought about this a lot, and I think they even talked about it. I'm sending you a 4-page letter, and I hope you get it on time. I feel like she was forced to accept her death. Avoidance. Weighing out the options. She tried to buy all the time in the world so she would not have to get on this fucking flight. I'm seeing her soul. I'm seeing shackles, like if she was a prisoner and they were dragging her against her will onto this fucking plane. She will never see Dame Dash again. Lovers reversed. Because she was about to be separated from him forever against her fucking will. I'm seeing Aaliyah's mom find out about her death, and the heaviness in my heart is, I can't even explain it. A mother should never outlive her child. She felt like her heart was ripped from her chest, much like a lot of people that loved Aaliyah. conflicts, disagreements, competition, defeat. I do pick up somebody on this entourage, whoever, there's a fucking handler out there that's a bitch that was jealous of Aaliyah as well. They were not on her side. It was about the money. I keep saying it because that's what I see. The people that were hired to work with Aaliyah were fucking slow. Like most human beings. They can't see outside the fucking box and they only give a fuck about themselves. The industry didn't give a fuck who they hired as long as they got the job done. But clearly, these motherfuckers were slow. They couldn't fucking do their damn job, but they wanted to come back quickly because that's what you told them. Aaliyah was a slave to the music industry. And then you have Winter. I don't remember what season it was when she died, but all of this shit is cold-blooded. That's all I can say. A cold-blooded snake. Like I said, maybe the industry does have shit to do with it allegedly because Aaliyah was wanting to cut fucking ties with people. I said she wanted to walk away from the music industry. I do not think the higher-ups deliberately tried to kill her, but these fucking idiots definitely did not care about her life. They didn't even care about their own demons. Leah wanted to stay at the airport and wait for another chartered flight, and they wouldn't let her. They couldn't leave without her, and they needed to go, and they wanted to go now. I keep seeing her struggle to fucking transition onto the other fucking side, and these people were fueled by the devil because it popped out in reverse. They were addicted to the fucking money. The hermit, she wanted to isolate herself. I'm telling you, she wanted to stay at this airport and she did not give a fuck if she had to stay there alone. But like I said, you're a slave to the industry. You do what the fuck they tell you to do. You have no choice. No one else was going to sit there with her because they wanted that plane back. They wanted the equipment back. They wanted the work. They needed it as soon as possible. Unpaid debts. So was someone in this fucking music industry that had rights to Aaliyah's music in fucking debt, and they were trying to pay it off, and they needed this music so they could fucking push it out so they could get paid for it? But instead, you did not spare Aaliyah's life. You took it from her out of greed. And of course she was worth more after her death because celebrities always are. Ten of Cups reversed. There goes her legacy. There goes her life. There goes her music because nobody can listen to this shit now because somebody has the rights to it. She wants it fucking released. You owe that shit to her. She did enough for you out of her 22 years of motherfucking life, and you let these negligent fucks take it from her. Rock the boat. Rock the boat. Trick or treat. Tastes just like candy, huh? Just take these pills and your headache will go away, Aaliyah. You don't need to worry about anything. We will take care of all of this shit. Right. Disappointments, abandonment, withdrawal. Like I said, Aaliyah wanted to escape this, and I think she even thought about running away through the airport or doing some shit crazy, but the handlers would not let her out of their fucking sight. She was getting on this flight, whether she wanted to or not, against her will. I can stop this reading right here. You guys obviously know the story. Allegedly, this is the truth. Allegedly, to the fucking shit. Close the fucking case. Like, let her go. This is what she wants. She wants you to let her go and rest in peace. She lost her life. If anybody should be in regret, it is her. Let that go. She's saying you're carrying on a part of me that I didn't want the world to see. Listen to my music because that is what I want you to remember. That is me. Losing her life and Dame Dash, her music, just everything. Her heart is more broken than anybody else's heart could ever be. She lost her life over negligence. I cannot even tell you the amount of fear Aaliyah had getting on this plane. Like, she felt like she was dying inside already. She was crying inside, and she may have been crying. Her heart was broken, and she had no one there to protect her. Ten of Cups. At this time, Aaliyah was at the top of her career. She had the fame, the fortune, the love of her life, and she just keeps talking about Dame Dash. She says when you meet the one, you know that they're the one, and like they're like no other. And Her life was taken from her. Her love was taken from her. How was he going to live without her? She was burdened by her passing for a really, really long time, and people still will not let it go. It was her life, not yours. She is begging for her peace, just like how she didn't want to get on that plane. She's begging to just let her live in peace. And then you have Jack-o'-lantern. Like, I feel so much anxiety and just feel fucking stressed the fuck out right now. Aaliyah is saying basically she cannot talk for herself, but I am talking for her. Let me be in peace. I feel a lot of anxiety in my chest right now, so Aaliyah could have just been really, and I see it, having a panic attack. That's why they gave her that shit. It was nothing for a fucking headache. I see her on the plane hyperventilating. As the plane goes down, it barely takes off on the runway. I'm hearing clear for takeoff. Ooh, coming right behind you. Swear I'm gonna find you one of these nights. All of this could have been prevented, but instead the industry let these little demonic entities run shit. That's why I say they have a part in it, allegedly, because if they didn't hire these stupid fucks and if they weren't so pressed about money, Aaliyah would still be here. Even though it was hard for her to transition at first, she's transitioned over to the other side. She forgives herself for all of those personal setbacks. Judgment. These people will pay. There is no rest for the wicked. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. I keep hearing the 4-page letter song, so I think Aaliyah really loved that song, or that's how she felt about Damon Dash. I'm sending him a 4-page letter. I'm seeing passion. She still loves him. She's still in love with him, and she never stopped loving him. She's saying, thank you for always believing in me. She's definitely still hurt and in sorrow, grief. If she could have one thing back, it would be to be with Dame Dash one last time. Legit, like, this amount of grief is what you feel like when someone you really love dies. It's very painful. Because I'm dreaming of you tonight till tomorrow. She resents the people that tragically took her life, and she's waiting for Dame Dash on the other side. And I wait for the day, the courage to say how much I love you. And of course we got the classic night song, I Get This With All My Singers. Out of all the cards that I have in that deck, she still thinks about him. She dreams about him all the time. Romance, creativity. He was very charming. He made her feel some type of way. No one has ever had Aaliyah's heart like that. Then you got the tower. Volatile situation, so I don't know what happened. I'm seeing fights, I'm seeing arguments with airport staff, her staff, and Aaliyah. The situation was very out of hand, and this caused her to have overwhelming anxiety, to the point it was giving her a migraine and she felt sick. She couldn't reach out for help. She couldn't request a doctor to buy time. She couldn't do anything because they wouldn't let her. Out of all these demons on this trip, none of them had a heart to even fight for Aaliyah. And I don't give a fuck if I was assistant or some shit like that. I wouldn't have got on that motherfucking plane, and I would have been happy to be fired when I came back. Betrayal, deception, getting away with murder. Long-term views. So if she walked away from the industry, they really didn't fucking have anybody, and they weren't gonna let that happen. Investments. They wanted their fucking money. Like I said, this all had to do with money and greed and negligence. Imprisonment. She was a slave to the industry, and they took her life. Fucking people like this, I don't give a fuck. Like, you're gonna burn in fucking hell. The people that died that were behind this went straight to fucking hell. The sun rebirthed, new beginnings, the family that she wanted. Aaliyah wanted to go into the movie industry is what I'm saying, and she wanted to get out the fucking music industry. And we all know when you want to get out of that motherfucking contract, you're not fucking getting out of it. Allegedly. We don't care if they're dead, we just want the money.